morning, everybody. It is 5:30 in the morning, Thursday. I am going to head to Dublin to go play golf with my brother-in-law and my cousin. You can tell we're quite early. But we love playing at this time. We can actually get an 18 in and still work the rest of the day. Thought it'd be cool to start a series of following me playing golf. So here it is. Here's episode 1. Stay tuned. Beautiful Dublin Ranch course, hole 1, 6:30 a.m. tee time. This is general for me, going straight in, first tee, just a couple practice swings, no driving range. The green is fairly straight. You got bunkers on the left and right. You want to stay straight on this one. And just like I tried to, but that didn't end up happening. I ended up going left. So first hole didn't go as planned. I shot it. I went out, so I had to drop. But I did a pretty good shot. Next one. So I ended up using an 8 iron on that, and I ended up making it to the green. Bogey on that first hole, but that's all right. So we move on. So we move on to the second hole. Beautiful second hole. I usually club down on this one just because it's a little bit downhill, but I thought 5-wood hybrid would get me there. Usually does. I can do an easy swing with my hybrid woods. So I got a good shot off of it. I hit it well, but I hit it too much and ended up going over the green. So once that happened, I ended up chipping back on and ended up bogeying the second hole as well. I know next time to club down on this one. So third hole, I unfortunately didn't get to film. It's another par 3, which I use another hybrid wood. Lots of gaps in the middle of this one, so if you end up short, it's going to be a tough one to get back on the green. I ended up shooting a par on this one, so my game is getting back a little better. Getting better at filming, so hopefully next couple ones I'll be able to capture all the holes. So here we have hole 4. You can see hole 3 on the right hand side. Got my 8 iron out, about 129 yards to the pin. Ended up hitting a pretty good shot on this one. Ended up making the green and shooting par on this one, so saving myself on these last 2 par 3s. Alright, hole 5, par 5, 520 yards. The first par 5 of this course on the front 9. Shooting +2 now. It's dog rights a little bit, so that over that hump straight ahead, it kind of curves to your right. Not too much of it, but I had the right idea here, but went a little too right. Ended up joining my brother-in-law out there. It was findable.
How do you feel about that shot?
Shanked it. So now we got hole 6, uphill par 3, using my 5-wood hybrid again. I know I use it a lot. It just gets me that loft. I know that I can get it up there. Ended up shooting a par on this hole. Got it on the green on 1, but my typical 2 putting. So hole 7 was another hole I didn't get to properly film, but par 3, 130 yards, using my 9 iron. I ended up coming up short on the right hand side, so gave me a bogey on that hole. 3 putted, but that will chip and 2 putted. Hole 8, another difficult one over all these crazy terrains. So if you end up short, you're going to be a lost ball. So I'm using my 5-wood hybrid again. Got a hold of it. This one, unfortunately, I lost my ball. So I ended up shooting bogey on this hole after finding, chipping, and putting back in. I ended up on the left over there. The last hole, 9th hole, par 4, 325. I usually go with my driver on this one. Sometimes I connect and I go in the right direction. Sometimes I don't. But this one, got a pretty good drive straight down the center. Ended up at a fairly good lie. Here comes my second shot using my 56 lob wedge. Didn't hit it too well. Ended up going to the right a little bit where that card is. You can hear me say 4 a little bit, but ended up just in the front of the green, and I ended up parring that hole.
I'm on the green.
So front 9 was a lot harder to film and play at the same time.
You know what this is?
Yeah.
Eagle. No, birdie.
Birdie. Yeah, I was in a bad lie. But hopefully back 9 I can film better. Alright guys, bye. So started off the back 9 a little rocky. I'm +4 right now. Couple pars, couple bogeys. A little inconsistent, but that's usually my game. Here we have the 10th. Beautiful open 10th hole. Par 4, 329 yards. Going with the driver. You see those open bunkers on the right hand side. You got a couple more to the left of it. Once you get over those bunkers, you're in pretty good territory. And I actually ended up parring that hole. So started the back 9 fairly well. So hole 11, hole 12 are 2 other holes that I didn't get to film. My GoPro ended up running out of battery, so I had to charge it real quick. Hole 11, 178 yards, par 3. I ended up parring that hole as well. It's a nice little over the hill kind of shot, beautiful. I just didn't get to film it, unfortunately, the one that you want to film. Okay, hole 12, another one I didn't get to film, 370 yards, par 4. I ended up using my driver on this one, ended up in a bad lie on the right hand side. You'll see in a second in the video that I captured once my GoPro came back on. Ended up shooting bogey on that hole, so there you got the green of the 12th hole right there. And then my drive ended up right on that hill on the left hand side, right up there in that bad rough. So bogey was good from where I was at. So here we got the 13th hole, par 3, 7 iron, 142 yards. Pin is somewhat in the front of the green. Got a good shot off this one. It wasn't heading in the direction, but I got a nice bump right there. Boom. It jumped me back out into the green. So we are on hole 13. It's really tough to golf and film at the same time. But we did pretty good on this one. So there you could see I marked my ball pretty good and ended up having this shot right here, shooting for birdie. And birdie got. Okay, hole 14, par 3, another par 3. Used my 6 iron on this one, 171 yards. I thought I would have made it there, but I still ended up short. So then here's my second shot, 56-degree lob wedge again. Got about 20-ish yards. Nice little chip onto the green. And then not too often, the one putt. Saved myself here, got par on 14. All right, hole 15, another par 3. Got my 5-wood hybrid out, 191 yards. This one's a little difficult too. You can end up left and right fairly easy, so you want to stay straight. I ended up going towards the left, but still safe, still playable. Got my second shot here using my 56 lob wedge again, about 20-ish yards. It's got a nice chip right onto the green. I did pretty good on this one. Can't ask for anything better. So ended up bogeying this hole, unfortunately. 2 putts. So I think we're playing hole 15. That was shot 2. So I'm hitting birdie. I mean, sorry, par. Par 3. Goodbye. Check it out. So even with a good approach shot and a good chip, still ended up 2-putting. Gave me bogey for this hole again. Hole 16, another par 4, 277 yards, busted out my driver on this one. I tend to vary on this hole when I play it. This time I ended up getting a good drive. So, hole 16, had a good drive, ended up on the right over there a little bit. I was on a slant, so my sandwich didn't go as planned. So here's a third shot, lob wedge again, maybe about 30-40-ish yards. Got a nice shot. Rolled a little bit past the flag, a little more than I'd like to, but hey. And then you have the ever infamous 2-putting. I thought this was going to turn a lot more to the left than it did, and it did not break at all. So ended up 2-putting. So brings us to hole 17. I think the last par 3 on this back 9. You see like you have a little bit of obstruction with the hills on the right hand side and the tee box on your right. So you got to play for that. Using an 8-iron, about 130 yards.
Good one.
I got a hold of it fairly well. Ended up on the right a little bit, but still made the green. 17, par 3. Got it on the green, 8-iron, about 120. Just nice, easy swing. About 50 feet from the hole. Hopefully I can 2-putt. Knowing me, I probably won't 2-putt, but let's hope. Playing good so far. +2 on the back 9. This part was funny. If you listen to the next part, I explained what happened, but it was my fault. I should have waited. Boop. So did you guys see that? That's putt. I didn't realize that my cousin was shooting from over here and he was chipping it. And it chipped and my putt was going online. I thought it was gonna hit, but it could have been off, but our balls crossed paths As you can see, they hit each other. So that's all right. It happens. I should have waited. That was my fault. So I got my brother-in-law with his camera skills coming. Last hole, 18th, par 5. Nice long stretch. Dog lefts a little bit and then comes back towards the straight. Caught a fairly good drive off this one. A little more left that I'd like to be, but I was in a safe lie. It was the last hole. It was super hot at this point. Shot 2 using my 3-wood hybrid here. Got about 200 yards, 225 yards to the pin. I just shot it right above that right bunker. Usually connect pretty well, but it was the end of the day, man. It was hot. I was ready to get out of the clothes that I was in. I was sweating. And here you got my third shot, about 110 yards out. I'm using my pitching wedge, and I messed this shot up. Hit the top of it. Came right to the front of the green, right to the left of that bunker. I was pretty much done at this point. The heat was kind of getting to me. So nice little chip up. I thought was recording the last putt, but I wasn't. And that's what happened. Ended up shooting an image instead of video. So first couple rounds out of quarantine, not too bad. Ended up shooting +8. Could have done better. I think it was some of the nerves of shooting, filming, and then having to edit all this later. So it was a lot to think of while playing. Definitely was a learning experience. I hope I could film a little more of it next time. Don't forget to hit subscribe, hit the like button if you like this video. I'll hopefully be doing more. Don't forget to hit the bell if you want to get notifications on future videos as well. With that, peace out.
How do you feel about that shot?
Shanked it.